What's poppin', and welcome back to another episode of Fletcher the Fisherman, guys. And today we're gonna be doing a little bit of pond hopping. I'm back here in Charlotte. I was actually here last video too, so that's good to know. But anyways, we're gonna be doing a little bit of pond hopping. I fished these ponds like 2 or 3 times on my channel before. We had this small one, and there's this big one up there. And if it's just not happening here, I'll probably hop in the car and head to some other ponds. I have a good feeling we're gonna be able to get the job done here today. I've fished these ponds a handful of times. You know, I've caught some nice 3-pounders. I caught a really nice one over there in that corner. The smaller pond has seemed to be a little bit better for me, but I haven't fished it in the fall yet, so I'm really excited to give it a shot today. And we've had really consistent cool fall weather, so these fish should be settling into that fall bite really well. So if that's the case, the fish should really be chasing bait and being aggressive, which means I'm going to be throwing reaction baits today. I have a few of them tied on right here, which I'm going to jump into in a minute. But before I do that, I want to talk about this, guys. Finally got my sample merch in the mail today. Got it this morning. There was a few things that I liked, a few things that I didn't like. I just want to make sure the quality is really top notch before I release it. So I needed to make a few changes and get another order in before I finally launch that. But hopefully I'll be launching the merch sometime in, I would say, like the next week or two. So be on the lookout for that. And I think I'm going to give away a reel with the merch drop. So like if you order something, I'll probably give away a reel to one lucky winner, someone who ordered something. So definitely make sure you're on the look for that. But let's go ahead and hop into the baits and get started. Here we go. Let's dive into our options for today. Our topwater option is the Jaywalker, just a nice little walking bait. If I see him splashing around, I'm probably gonna throw this a little bit, see if I can't get smacked on that thing. Always love topwater. Then our next option right here is this little old chatterbait, you know, tried and true. Always gets the job done, but I might end up taking this thing off and replace it with a Texas rig. It's probably like a little power worm or something like that. And then my third and final option, which will probably be my bread and butter for today, and that is this crankbait right here, the shallow diving crankbait. The fish were munching this thing last time. I probably should retie before I get started with this thing. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we're going to jump right into things. Seems to check out nicely right there. That knot is holding. So let's go ahead and fire this sucker out there. You know what, guys? I tried to avoid the noise. You know, the ambient noise you hear behind me. I'm sure you can hear the leaf blowers. I started at the other end of the pond, and some lady fired up a pressure washer the second I started fishing, or started trying to talk to the camera at least. And then I decided to walk down here to this end, and I was like, oh, it's nice, peaceful and quiet and all that. And the second I grab my camera, the leaf blowers start. I can't avoid them. We are mortal enemies. It is definitely quite annoying. I just cannot seem to avoid them. The second the camera goes on, the leaf blowers start. So in addition to my best friend, the leaf blower, we now have a airplane, and these people are also repairing their decks. So we got some nice wood saws going too. Splendid. And this is just not gonna happen with the crankbait in this pond, at least. There's way too many leaves. So I'm going over to the chatterbait. Might have been a bite. Oh, there we go, got one. I didn't even realize I had a fish on right there. I thought that was leaves. Come here. First one of the day, and if you want to go ahead and add the barking dog to the list of obnoxious noises, go ahead and do that. And everything's in unison right now. We got a harmony, just a orchestra of leaf blowers, saws, planes, dog barks. Now we got a, there's even a lawnmower going now, so that's always good. But that is our first fish of the day. Just a little guy, just probably about almost a 1-pounder or so, but he crushed that chatterbait. He wanted that, sucked it right in, and that is our first one of the day, so I can't complain. Now that we're on the board, it is time to turn things up a notch and hopefully catch us a big one. Later, buddy. I sincerely apologize about the noise. It should subside here shortly. Seems like they got to be done sometime soon. It can't be that big of a yard. Oh, love it. Ooh, that's a good fish. That feels like, oh yeah, that's a better one, guys. That is a better one. Hammering it. Oh, come in here, bud. Stay down. Keep your head down. Keep your head down. Keep your head down. Oh gosh, yes. Stay down, stay down, stay down, stay down. See, that's a really big one, guys. That's a really big one. That's a really big one. Stay down. Oh, let's go. Oh, 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 that's a huge one, guys. That's a huge one. Get on up. Yes. Oh, look at that. That's a freaking tank. That's like a 5-pounder all day. Look at the gut. Oh my gosh, guys. That is a freaking stud. That is a freaking stud right there. That is what I came out here for. This is what fall fishing is all about. Let me go grab the big camera, show you all of this guy a little bit closer. Oh yeah, baby, that is what fall fishing is all about. You know, first day wearing the Fletcher the Fisherman merch, you know how it's gonna go. We're gonna catch freaking donks. But let me go ahead and throw this girl on the scale. I wanna see what she weighs. I'm guessing really close to 5. She's probably right at that high 5, or not high 5, high 4 or 5-pound range. Yes sir, 5'4", y'all might, I'm gonna have to show y'all that on the GoPro, because the thing is, the fish is gonna hit the water if I try to put it too close to the camera. But that is a 5-pounder there, guys. 5 pounds, 4 ounces. Let's freaking go, man. That is exciting. That is what it's all about. But let's go ahead and get this girl back in the water. I'm gonna go ahead and get this like acorn thing that she got in her mouth somehow while she was up here out of her mouth. And let's get her back in. Let's go. This fish is a freaking slab of meat right here. This is a freak of nature, just a giant old gut. This fish is the future Karen, future 10-pounder, no doubt about it. Let's let her swim on. Bye. Thank you for the munch. Yes, man, yes. And the leaf blowers seem to be almost done, maybe. You know, I could be fishing in the middle of the desert, guys, with no leads around, and someone would be out there with a leaf blower blowing sand around. I'm not kidding. I cannot avoid that. Every time I pick up a fishing rod or a camera, they start going off. Well, that was a nice surprise right there. I'm glad to know there's some giant freaking donks in this pond. I've only fished it a handful of times, like probably no more than 3 or 4. And I just wasn't sure if there was gonna be any big old fish in here. And now I know. I now know there are freaking toads swimming around in this water. So I'm hoping I might find myself an even bigger one if they're in here. I think the leaf blowers have finally turned off. You know, you just gotta catch a big fish for them to turn off sometimes. That's how it goes. But yeah, guys, I just had a feeling this pond was gonna have some giant fish in it. And I think in the first 2 episodes I filmed out here a while back, I can't remember which one, but I remember one of them specifically, I was telling y'all guys how I thought this pond right here was just gonna have some trophy-sized fish in it. And sure enough, that was a giant old fish. I mean, it wasn't a trophy, it wasn't an 8+, but just from the way that fish was filled out, just how healthy it was, I promise you guys there's some freaking tanks in here. I doubt that's the biggest fish in here. So it is nice to see myself finally hooking a big one. But let's keep on getting after these fish and see what happens. So now that the leaf blowers have finally subsided, it's probably a pretty good time to go over some fall fishing strategies for you guys, trying to help y'all out, make y'all better fishermen. Ooh, there's a fish. Hold on, I'll tell y'all about them in just a second after I get this fish in right here. It's just a little twerp right here, just a little titty biter. Get on in here. Did hammer the piss out of it though, that is for sure. But let me go ahead and get this little guy back in. This guy's probably about 1/10 of the size of that last fish. Thank you for the munch there, little buddy. But back to what I was talking about, guys. I want to go over some general fall bass fishing tips for you guys. And I think I'm going to start with how I'm actually fishing this bait. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to cast that thing out there, get it out there nice and far, let it get down just a little bit into the water column, and then I'm gonna start burning it. I'm gonna start burning it, reeling it faster, significantly faster than I normally would reel it, and then I'm gonna pause it. Burn it and pause. So what the fish do in the fall is they chase bait. They're trying to get nice and fat, for the winter, especially after a few days of like really consistent fall weather. Just like a crazy day of cold weather, a crazy day of hot weather can really mess it up. So after a few days of really good consistent fall weather, they're gonna start eating up like crazy. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna be looking for that bait, and this bait's gonna fly by their face. They're gonna start chasing it, and the second you pause it, they're gonna hammer it. They'll still eat it when you're reeling fast, but they're really gonna hammer that thing when it's paused, and that's usually when you're gonna get bit. So definitely make sure you try that out. And then in addition to that, if you're just a bank angler in general, just a great way to cover water and make sure you're not missing anything, especially when you're throwing moving baits. You can fish like this pretty fast. It's called fan casting. So stand in like one spot, just like this, and then you're gonna take a cast down the bank, just a little bit farther out, a little bit farther out. You probably get the point. We're just gonna kind of move in a fan pattern around myself and try to cover every little bit of area around me. And if there's areas that I know tend to hold a little bit more fish, I'll take a few more casts in each little general area just to kind of pick it apart a little bit more. So definitely make sure you guys try those tactics out. Hopefully they help you catch a few more fish. But let's get back to it and see if we can't catch ourselves another freaking mondo. Oh, is that a fish? Oh yeah, another freaking big one. Another freaking big one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, stay down, stay down. Stay down. I almost lost my rod on that hook set. I thought I hit a log, but it was just a freaking tank. Oh, he's not fighting too much on me. I think I got him hooked pretty good by another solid fish. Another freaking beast. Oh yeah, man. You cannot beat that. Fall fishing is the best. Oh, yes. But that is probably, I want to say, really close to 3 pounds. Let me go ahead and throw her on the scale. She's got a big old head and just not quite as filled out as I thought she was. Just kind of like a, I don't know, she kind of got a little bit of an awkward, stocky body type, but I think she's close to 3. Let's see what the scale reads. 2 pounds, 14 ounces. 2 ounces away from a 3-pounder. I'll take that all day. Oh yeah, man. Yes. These fish are just munching so well today. I cannot get enough of it. If you guys aren't fishing in the fall, I promise you guys you're doing it wrong. It's one of the best times of year to fish. And if I haven't proved it already, just keep on watching. I'm sure we're gonna get ourselves another one. I'm gonna go ahead and grab these, and we're gonna move over to our next pond. The bite for me in there has slowed down significantly, so let me go ahead and move on over to the next one. Oh, if that was a fish, that was a freaking thump. Let me get back in there. I think that might have been a stick or something, but that was a fish. Goodness gracious. Oh, bait's getting chased. Bait's getting chased. Oh, do I have one? Oh, I do have one. I do have a fish. Let's go. Oh, I don't know if y'all see this, but there's a ton of bait being chased up here. I was trying to reel that in really fast because I saw bait getting chased up against that wall. And sure enough, I got a fish right here. But let me go ahead and get this sucker back in ASAP so I can maybe get another one of those feeding fish right there. But that's a solid little fish, probably the 3rd best one of the day. About 1.5 pounds, 2-pounder. There she goes. Let me zing this thing back in there because those fish were going crazy chasing that bait. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh, get in there. This is literally perfect, guys. The wind is pushing in right here. It's pushing all this bait up here against this back wall on the shallow end of this pond, exactly where I want it to be blowing into. And there seems to be a good amount of activity. It's just, can I get more than that one fish to bite? They were chasing. I'm gonna go over to that top water for a minute, see what I can't stir up with that, because they were blowing up on the surface. Here we go. Let's fire that out there. Now this thing should get clobbered if they're still over there. Gonna take one more cast with this thing. See if I can get something to bite it. That bait kind of died down. I'm sure there's still some fish in the area. Oh, come on. Oh, I just literally saw the bass. My bait was right next to him. Oh, get in there. Come on. Eat it, boy. I said eat it, Jimmy. Gonna switch over to the crank for a second, see if they'll bite that thing. If I can even throw it over here in this pond. The leaves are gonna decide the fate of that. There we go, got one. Right there. Oh gosh, bait in the tree, fish on the ground. Oh gosh, that escalated quickly. My liver stuck up in the tree. But what I was trying to say was that fish came right off the edge of this little dam wall right there, just bounced that crankbait right off that concrete, and he hammered it. Get him back in. Oh, okay. All right, you going? There he goes. Get him right on in there. Now it's time to try to get this out of the tree. That should be fun. You gotta be joshing my tots here. There it goes. Okay, I was about to say, if that was not gonna come out, that was gonna be a little ridiculous because it was like just out of reaching distance right there. Try that again, see if anything else is up on this concrete. I got one? Look at that. Another little squeaker right there. Oh my gosh. Gotta love it. Well guys, man, today was awesome. I had a ton of fun. Super stoked to have caught that big old 5-pounder. I mean, that sucker was a football, and I haven't done a ton of fishing in Charlotte, so being able to come out here, catch the biggest Charlotte bass of the year is super nice, and hopefully y'all enjoyed that catch. And if you did, make sure you go ahead and drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want to go the extra mile, hit that little bell notification as well. But as always, bassing is a passion. Peace